Hello everyone and welcome to Asteroid Day 2025. My name is Remco Timmermans. I'm the Communications Manager here at EmTroniX.
Hello, my name is Christian Schmidt. I'm RF engineer here at EmTroniX and I'm the former project manager of JuRa, which is an instrument on board ESA's Hera mission and currently on its way to an asteroid.
Excellent, and that is exactly what we want to talk about today because, as I said, today is Asteroid Day. And Asteroid Day is a day that was recognized by the United Nations back in 2016 to raise awareness about the asteroid impact hazard and to inform the public about crisis communication actions to be taken at the global level in case of a credible near-Earth object threat. Now, the 30th of June, the day of today, was picked because of the biggest asteroid impact in human memory, in recent human memory, in 1908. The Tunguska event in Siberia that destroyed a large part of land, which was only later credited to this really big asteroid. But that was not the last one. In 2013, we saw the Chelyabinsk asteroid coming out of nowhere, February 2013, which again added to the awareness of the reality of asteroids. And the Hera mission is part of that. So exactly. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we are part of the Hera mission, which is currently on its way to an asteroid, to Didymos-Dimorphos binary asteroid system, currently at 382 million kilometers from Earth, meaning basically last week we just entered the main asteroid belt, which is quite fitting, I guess. In addition, EmTroniX's role was to develop the main part of the low-frequency radar that's on board of one of the two CubeSats inside Hera, which will be released once arrived at the asteroid, and will hopefully do some magnificent science up there to find out about the internal structure of the asteroid, much more to to have this knowledge and be prepared to actually deflect an asteroid in case there would be a risk to strike Earth.
So we are part of that mission. You said there's a spacecraft and two CubeSats.
Yes.
Now we are responsible for building the payload of one of those CubeSats. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Exactly. So it is, like I said, it's the low-frequency radar. I could say it's a BPSK modulated, fully polarimetric, ground-penetrating radar, synthetic aperture radar, meaning it will fly around the asteroid, will map it from different angles, and then in post-processing, our colleagues in France at EPAC, they will do all the necessary to reconstruct basically a full model of the asteroid. And EmTroniX's part was to develop lots of this instrument together with, of course, the consortium, but from the mechanics, main part of the electronics, big part of the software, the testing, also the project management for the whole consortium.
Excellent. Now, this mapping of this asteroid is going to happen starting in October 2026. How long will the spacecraft, the Juventus spacecraft, be active?
The main mission is somewhere between 2 and 3 months, if I recall correctly. To have sufficient coverage. You can imagine it flies in around the asteroid in a so-called SSTO. It's a self-stabilized terminator orbit, meaning across the line between the sun side and so the side towards the sun and the side away from the sun, while the asteroid is of course turning and the instrument is capturing small slices. And then in the end, by doing a synthetic aperture radar processing, this is put together to, let's say, a complete 3D imaging of the surface, also the subsurface, with, in the end, also the goal to land on the asteroid, even though the CubeSat is not actually a lander, but there is a dedicated procedure for a slow descent and then landing, and it will most probably stay there, longer than you meant, I'd say.
Well, that's the idea for both the CubeSats to land on the minor asteroid on Dimorphos. So, but before that, a lot of stuff will need to happen,
yes,
and we keep a keen eye on that because, well, we built the instrument. The instrument's been launched, but we're not there yet.
Just last week, for example, we received the JuRa operations report number 4, which is the first one which the instrument really performed kind of a radar sounding, just in reception, of course, because we're inside the other satellite, so we're not allowed to transmit there, unfortunately. But from the reception compared to on-ground measurements, we have a very good noise level, so very low, even lower, of course, than on Earth. All functions work properly, the data downlink. So for now, everything's good. And of course, the team behind this keeps on doing regular checkouts. To make sure once we arrive, everything stays in this good shape.
How often do you receive those reports? Because the spacecraft is on its way for about 2 years.
Yeah. And it's at 382 million kilometers now. Yeah. It's roughly every 2 months for the CubeSats. I think for Hera, the cycle is a bit higher. So once every 2 months, roughly, the CubeSats are switched on, all the instruments checked, the power levels, the temperatures. So here we were, I don't know exactly when it was done, but the data arrived last week. We were internally at roughly 9 degrees C when they started. Then increasing a bit over the course of half an hour to 12-ish degrees. So it's comfortable, nice and comfortable still, compared to the maximum and minimum temperatures the instrument can see. So yeah, but round about every 2 months.
So we're within limits, and we hope to stay within limits, because after sitting on board Hera, it needs to be deployed once it arrives at the asteroid system. So we await that. Today is Asteroid Day, so we thought we'd pay a little attention to this small milestone in the mission, but we're not there yet. Dimorphos is not the only asteroid that is coming near us in not human terms, but near in
the
astronomical terms.
Chance to come really close is, I think, not there, but there are other asteroids that...
Well, there is one specific asteroid that is coming at 32,000 kilometers from Earth on Friday, the 13th of April, 2029. We're talking about Apophis.
Yes.
Now, 2029, because of this, has been announced as the International Year of Asteroid Awareness and Planetary Defense by the United Nations. And we're going to see a lot of activity, if you like, when Apophis arrives. 32,000 kilometers. It is not super near. But we might be able to see it.
It's below our geostationary TV satellites, for example. So
exactly,
it's at our front door.
It's literally at our front door. Now we're involved in a mission to Apophis as well.
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the RAMSES mission, which is based on the Hera mission, to also show a rapid response to, for example, such an asteroid that comes that close, which is now developed based on all the experience of the Hera mission, of the Hera satellite, but also on the different CubeSats, where we're also involved with an almost similar instrument, which largely is a large heritage from this instrument. Some refinements, some adaptations to a slightly different platform and so on. But in general, I don't want to say we're doing it again, but we help progressing in getting even more information on such asteroids of certain types, and that also are in more or less close encounter to Earth.
That's an exciting mission. So again, you could say EmTroniX is becoming a specialist in asteroids in a way.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. So with 2 asteroids coming near us in the next couple of years, we're involved in both of these. So exciting times ahead. But we wish you all a happy Asteroid Day today. Thank you.
Thank you.